Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and welcome to Thursday and the madness. It is madness. A lot of it while we were sleeping. When you woke up this morning, we had more carnage in crypto than we had at least Bitcoin bouncing back. We had a sell-off in gold and silver. At one point this morning, silver went to 90 ounces of silver for an ounce of gold. Just crazy out of whack. We got a mixed market on the Dow. We had inflation data. We had jobless claims. Another Carvana announcing they're laying off 2,500 people as layoff announcements start to continue. We got who was it? Love's, the gas station Love's, the truckers. They put out an alert to all the trucking industries that expect supply disruptions all in the East Coast. From Georgia to Florida to New York to Pennsylvania, the Carolinas, that they may run out of diesel fuel. Gasoline prices jumped again this morning. Back to the highest I've seen it here in the Valley, $4.79.9. So let's call it $4.80. Diesel here's about $5.50. But all-time record high prices in gas and diesel this morning. And like I told you yesterday, hey, we're going to run right up through the Memorial Day holiday. I wouldn't be surprised if we see gas hit $5 a gallon and possibly higher. And remember, this is all with China being closed. The one thing is cases are starting to fall in China, so they may open sooner rather than later. We'll have to see. At the same time, cases rising here. But a lot going on. We're really lucky today. We got my son Joey's here. He's actually going to be here for another day and then back to work in Chicago at Northwestern Mutual. But he was really active this morning, up bright and early. He actually said to me, what was it, yesterday or was it 2 days ago? Hey, Dad, you may want to start looking at crypto. I think there's a play here. Of course, I said, yeah, no thanks. But man, what a crazy time to be in the markets. A lot of money being lost, and at the same time, Joe, a lot of money could be made.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I think it's on.
You're good,
okay,
man.
Yeah,
You're good.
The markets have been crazy, especially in the crypto area. With Bitcoin, its top high was like 60,000, 65,000, and now we're at 29,000, just below 30. Actually, it was really funny. Some of my clients called me this morning, and they're like, "Hey, Joe, what do you think about the Bitcoin?" I think, "Hey, it's a great time to buy. You got to buy when the markets are down," and they did. And some of them actually sold out about a couple minutes ago to like 30 minutes ago, and they made a quick 5 to 10%. So shout out to those guys over there. But honestly, man, with the crypto markets, it's kind of dangerous. It's very risky. But I know some of you like that kind of stuff. You like to be active and involved in it. You can always call me up. We can buy and sell things and get things going, making sure we lock in some profits. But yeah, we gotta be careful out there. And like how crypto is, it's year round. It doesn't stop on the weekends. It doesn't stop when you go to bed. It's
yeah, right. It trades Saturday, Sunday. I mean, all day long, 24 hours a day. But you said that this was a big problem in a lot. I don't even know how many cryptos there are, but big problem in a lot of these lesser known ones. And you're telling me when you got here that you actually think, hey, you don't know, right? How many are going to? But your belief is that there's going to be 10 at the most. Maybe just Bitcoin and Ethereum, that you think most of these other coins are eventually going to end up going away. And this is where the problem was in the markets over the last week, is these lesser-known coins started to get wiped out.
Yeah, and what's happening is these lesser-known coins are so cheap. So normal everyday people see that's so cheap, and everyone just buys into these things, and they pump up, and then all of a sudden they crash. So it's very important to do your research on these cryptos and actually know you're getting invested to, because there's so many of them, and so many of them have been made just to create hype and create a quick money gains. So you really have to do your research and find out, hey, what do these cryptos do and what problems are they solving, and will they be useful in the future? And I see the usefulness in Bitcoin, Ethereum. I know Solana's taking a huge hit right now, but I still believe in that. It's just all about doing the right research and not buying into some of these coins that just really don't do too much.
Yeah, they're just more hype than anything else. But really interesting market again this morning. Jobless claims, again, another high, I guess, recently anyway, staying above that 200,000. Again, we're starting to see these layoff announcements just starting to trickle in. We had inflation on the wholesale side, and that number came in much hotter than expected and well above the CPI number. And I think, Jason, everyone's really just kind of confused right now. I think everyone's kind of looking for a bottom, and at the same time, the economic data isn't matching what all these Fed governors are saying.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. I mean, why do I get the feeling that every time we have a rate hike, it's just going to slowly slide this thing down? Maybe this is a slow motion crash I think we're watching, Joe. It was happening last year. How many times have I said it, Joe? The small and the medium caps. Now the large cap stocks are starting to have that pressure. So maybe every rate hike, Joe, we just see a little more sliding downwards, huh?
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen right up until the rate hike stop. We're going to be back. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592. The producer price index up 11% year over year. So think about CPI. What was it? 8.3. The producers are saying, hey, it's 11, which just means what? More's coming. Month over month, up another 0.5%. And again, Jason, the news is more of the same, which is prices continue to escalate. Remember, Toyota the other day said, "Hey, listen, everything's costing more. We're trying to figure out a way to use less material. We're trying to find a way to find cheaper parts." And the realities are, at the wholesale level, if inflation is still this hot, that just means more inflation is coming.
Yeah, and this is a dangerous time when trying to figure out what to do with your money. This is why we have Joey on today. Is we have equities down. You have all kinds of assets going down. Bitcoin, crypto's going down, and you have inflation. I mean, the '87 crash, the inflation wasn't that bad at that point. The .com bubble. There's inflation. The Fed has created permanent inflation. That is how they enrich themselves. So there always is some inflation, but not like the inflation in the late 70s, early 80s, not like the inflation today. So, Joe, when you have things going up in price all over the place, but the companies that you actually buy into on the stock market, their values are going down, what do you do, right? That's why at some point when this thing gets a little more serious, the flocking to safety and the big money coming into gold and silver, it's going to happen. Joe and I, we can't give you the exact timing, but it's going to happen.
It continues to happen. They tried to hide it here with their paper prices. Believe me, money continues to flow into the gold and the silver markets. Really quickly, Brittany handed me a note. We have no 10th ounce, but well, I just lied because I do have some. I have 75 of them. 7.5. That's not that's like a roll and a half of 10th ounce. They're $240, but you got to call and book them right now. That is the cheapest price on 10th ounce all year long. So if you want some 10th ounce, they have been extremely popular. Really, stuff like 10th ounce, $half, silver eagles, right? All of these things are popular. Really, because, Jason, I think the whole world is is like, hey, we're going to digital. They're going to start limiting what we can purchase, banning what we can purchase. They're going to create this new black market, and I think gold and silver is going to be the product of choice in those markets. So we're seeing these fractional gold and silver markets just really have just crazy volumes in it. So if you're looking for some 10th ounce, again, this is solely the wholesaler called me up and said, hey, listen, we've dug through this is what if you want them, take them. So they're $240, and I only have 75. That's it. There are no more. The Mint did not release any more. The Mint did not give us a date for any more. 800-951-0592. And you know, Joey brought something up, and so I want to clarify on crypto. Something you need to be worried about if you use an exchange like Coinbase. So they had earnings yesterday. They got clobbered. Volumes are collapsing. All of these things. Here's how this works as far as if you have crypto in an exchange like Coinbase and it goes bankrupt, you lose. Your wallet, if your wallet itself is within Coinbase, right, Joey? You lose it all.
Yep, it's gone. It's out of there. So you got to make sure you know what you're doing and that your money's in a safe spot. Always be on top of your investments. Coinbase, I don't think it's here to leave us, but it's always important to be careful and safe about it and be aware that, hey, it could go to zero and you could lose your entire wallet.
So just something, yesterday, Jason, you and I were talking. I said, hey, I don't know how it works. So Joey let us know that absolutely if you have your wallet at an exchange and that exchange goes under, you lose the wallet. So that's just something to keep in mind. And again, we have Joey here today.
To touch on that, you could always transfer wallets to another exchange. So if you do see that it is going to fall, Coinbase is about to fall, you can always switch that wallet over to another holder.
Yeah, the problem is they don't tell you, right? It's not like they're going to announce, hey, by the way, we're going to fail today. So
I mean, I spent hours and hours in a rabbit hole on YouTube, me and my roommates, to figure all this stuff out. There's gas prices, there's exchange prices, there's different wallets, there's different blockchains. It's very, very complex. There's a lot to deal with in it, so make sure before you get into it to really do some research on these things, because it's new and sometimes you can get hurt investing in things without knowing the correct knowledge prior.
So let me ask a question. Let me ask a question real quick. Since Joey's here to talk about cryptos, we have the ETFs, like the stock exchange version of buying Bitcoin, right? It's an equity there. Does that go away like a wallet, or is that more secure than these wallets you're talking about?
I'm not sure about the ETF on Bitcoins. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still learning too, like you guys, on it. But I don't know if it's more secure or not.
This is just my guess, Joey. My guess is that's like a stock. It's performing just like an equity. That doesn't go away. I don't think that would collapse and go away because I think it's regulated. So why do I get the feeling that something like Coinbase will be? Joe and I were talking about this yesterday. Cryptocurrencies, the way they're set up now, are going to be kind of the Trojan horse to bring in the Fed coin. Let's just pretend Coinbase just dies. And I know that sounds really crazy to a lot of crypto people, but let's just say next year, maybe 2024, Coinbase does go bankrupt. Tons of people get wiped out. And then here comes the Fed like a white knight. Well, we'll save you. We'll make it balance.
Yeah, exactly, right. And they know it's those millennials. Not to say that some older people don't do the crypto thing, but by and large, I would venture to guess, 80-90% of investors in crypto are probably under the age of 40, and really, probably 95% of them are under the age of 50. And why, of course, the guy, we're going to ride to the rescue, right? That seems like a place, at least for Jason and I, that once again, another reason to get people to say, yes, we want this digital currency, because look at what happened with the if you had it in FedCoin, that wouldn't have happened, right, Jason?
That's correct. I mean, Joey and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I save my money in gold and silver. Of course, you keep a little cash around for emergencies, but I was looking at Solana, and it's like, and I know that's an investment. It's a gamble. I know this, and so I tell all the people that come in that talk about anything besides gold and silver, which I consider just flat out savings. That's protected. Joey, I didn't put any money into it because I'm a wait and see guy. I am a wait and see guy, and why do I have a feeling I can buy that at $25 here in the next month or two, Joey? That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And then here's the thing, guys: cryptocurrencies aren't going away. This is a part of the future of the world. So once again, why aren't you guys calling Joey? He's got his eye on this stuff, and he can help you with that. There's only so much Jason or Joe can do, right, Joe?
Well, exactly. So, but Joey does a lot of things, and crypto's a fraction of it. But for me personally, and I've shared this with all of you, I don't want no part of it. I think, I'm with Warren Buffett. They've turned Wall Street into a casino.
Yep.
The Federal Reserve has pumped it up, and I just don't want to deal with it. So I have a different product that I use through Joey where I don't care what happens. The Dow could go to 10,000. It could go to 100,000. It could go somewhere in the middle. Bitcoin could go to 1 million. Bitcoin could go to 0. Doesn't affect me at all. I don't care. And yet, over a 15-year period, I'm going to triple my money. But that's what I do. That's one of the things he does. He's got guys like Joey said, that actively trade with him day in and day out. There's other guys that go and use Northwestern Mutual, what they call, what is it called? Preferred portfolio?
Their signature portfolio, which that's where we actively manage your portfolio. We rebalance it every quarter, make sure we're doing everything correctly and touch base with you. And really the limit for that is, for me, you need to put in at least $25,000. I know for some of my top advisors, because they just have so much on their plate, that their minimums are up to $100,000, up to $500,000 minimum. I'm a younger guy, so I want to work with everyone and kind of build up my business. So that's why my minimum's at $25,000 for the signature portfolio.
And that's the signature portfolios. Some of you have heard those commercials. Now your company's very conservative, right?
The most. We don't offer crypto.
Right.
I do
you
crypto.
You do that through
personally.
Through your brokerage. But his company doesn't do that. Northwestern Mutual is kind of like the anti-bank, right?
Or the old man,
the grumpy old man. If you guys are, they want to minimize risk and do all that stuff. So you'd handle 401k rollovers, yep. IRA rollovers, stuff. You do all
annuities,
that as well?
Annuities, you name it. All the instruments we got. Insurance. I hate to say the word insurance, so for that, it's not insurance to me. It's more like an investment. But we can kind of dive deep into that more in the one-on-one talk. And it's also a way to be more tax efficient. There's just so many things we can do and help you out. But everyone's situation is completely different. So for me to sit up here and tell you about every single little thing we do isn't really going to help anyone until we really sit down and kind of narrow it down that it is to what you need and what you want.
Right. Some guys may just be looking for, hey, I'm going to put my money with you, and I just want your advice. I'm going to email you some stocks or call you up and say, hey, what do you think about these things and whatnot. Other people like me are like, hey, listen, protect me, grow my money, but I don't want to be involved in it. Yep. Then you got your signature stuff where you guys are, because you got your own MIT mafia, right? Yeah. You guys got the hundreds of I don't want to call them computer geeks, but really brilliant people.
They're almost computers.
Right. Right.
They're like Elon Musk up there. They don't know how to talk normally, but they can look at charts and figure things out. They're a great group of people. I've had a chance to meet some of them. They're just geniuses. They kind of take a full 7,000-foot level at everything. And also, for those out there listening, to reach me at my cell phone number, my number is 602-909-9048. Again, my number is 602-909-9048. just give me a quick phone call or a text. If I don't answer, leave me a voicemail, and I'll get back to you right away. And I look forward to talking with you guys.
Yeah, and Joey will be back in the office on Monday. You know, I told the story. I had to tell the story about graduation. You know, you surprise Mom and I with a text like, I don't know, less than an hour before walking. Oh, by the way, I'm cum laude, right? I
didn't even know. Yeah,
you didn't even know. And then you told the story about how the school was trying to fleece you on the ropes that you had earned, right? And you were like, no, man, no part of it.
Yeah, so basically, I got into a couple awards for school. You get to wear the ropes, you look all cool in your cap and gown. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. I get all these ropes. I look like a successful dude. And they're like, oh, that's going to cost you $100, $50 per rope. And I was like, I'm not going to pay to be in your little silly little club. So I just walked up there in my own style, and I had a good time doing it.
Yeah. And then you tried to get a Let's Go Brandon going on.
Unfortunately, they know me, so they were ready to cut the mic off right when I got up there.
You got Let's Go out.
I got 2 words out, so I just said Let's Go Grandma, but, whatever.
Yeah, there you go. So, anyway, congratulations. Very exciting. The Dow, everything is down again. The Dow's been bouncing a little bit, but crude oil was down $2-3, is shot back up. When we get back, we'll check out what's happening in those markets. Saudi Arabia saying we've got a problem. That's coming up next. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. If you're just joining us late yesterday, Loves, the gas station, truckers predominantly use, warned, be prepared for their stations predominantly along the eastern seaboard, the Carolinas, Georgia, all the way up through New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, that they may be out of diesel fuel. Saudi Arabia, their oil prime minister, so let's say Saudi shoes, they got an oil prime minister. The world is running out of energy capacity at all levels. I am a dinosaur, so obviously this guy's old, but I've never seen these things. He said that the lack of investments has basically used up all of the world's capacity. The amount of unused capacity that the world can tap to produce more energy products is running out. He said that the fact that investments were needed years ago that haven't been made, the world needs to wake up to an existing reality. And he said it's at all levels, and that don't expect the price of oil or gas or diesel to really come down anytime soon. By the way, diesel prices up 78%, according to the latest Bloomberg data, Jason. And again, I said, this morning oil was off a little bit, but it's come roaring back now. We're looking at oil at $107, $108 a barrel. But the problem is in the refined products. Yesterday we told you how much they're paying to get a barrel of diesel or get a barrel of unleaded gas. By the way, unleaded gas, this is the highest I've seen yet. This is wholesale unleaded gas, $3.80 a gallon in Arizona at $1.20, because that's about what it averages. So right now, I would expect $5 gasoline to be here in Arizona next week if these prices stay where they're at.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. I mean, and diesel's so important. Everyone remembers 2020, coronavirus, right? And everything shut down and people weren't going anywhere. But they had that little group of jobs, the necessary jobs. Were you necessary or unnecessary, right, Joe? But the truck drivers were necessary. They were still driving all over the place. They were still delivering goods all over the place. And, of course, with the shutdowns, people were doing more direct-to-home type of purchases, which means more diesel gets used. Joe. It never goes away. If diesel prices go down, that's if inflation goes down, diesel would go down. But if this thing doesn't get better, the diesel prices will just keep getting higher, because we still need our stuff, Joe. We still need food. We still need all the things that we do day to day to live. You know, hey, like Joe, how many things can we mention that diesel is necessary for? And that price, Joe, you could see $7 or $8 a gallon diesel by the summertime. That's how bad this is.
And again, I want to point this out, and I've been saying it and saying it and saying it. China's got almost 500 million people locked down. The last several days I've been watching it now. Their COVID cases are falling and falling and falling. I actually think that here in the next couple of weeks, I think it's going to reopen. And then you might as well just add, I don't even know, $10, $20, $30 a barrel when it comes to crude. Right now, crack spreads. So this is turning a barrel of crude into a barrel of gas or a barrel of diesel. Right now on diesel, crack spreads are $60. So at crude oil at 110, it's really almost like it's at 170 with those diesel crack spreads. And I'm sitting here telling you 110's a gift. I would not be surprised. Remember, we hit that intraday high back in 2008. We had all those hurricanes, and remember half of New Orleans was underwater and all this other stuff. It got to, almost $150 a barrel. Could you imagine if we get back to 150 and with crack spreads, you're looking at diesel being more like crude oil was $200 a barrel. You know, forget about 6 or 7. Then we're talking $8 to $10 for diesel. And here's the sad thing. That would have been crazy talk. But now all of a sudden, you know what? Not crazy at all. And the realities are, I don't see how we don't have at least $7 diesel, $7 to $8 diesel, and cheap gas if you're in the right states. Maybe you're at 5.5. Everybody else is going to be probably 6, 6.5. California could see $7 gasoline. And they're talking about inflation peaking, Jason. It's such a line of crap.
$10 a gallon diesel means massive, not this like funny little shortages we're having, massive shortages, Joe. $10 diesel is massive shortages. Tons of. I would even at $10 a gallon diesel, Joe. I wouldn't be surprised if Walmart's closed down. You know, everyone would have to fine tune everything.
I just. Again, remember what I told you. It's hyperinflation until demand destruction. And demand destruction at a scale most people have never seen before. And that's why I keep saying this is like a depression with inflation, right? And it's so hard to grasp. And we're looking at things where all of a sudden China reopens and energy prices skyrocket again, and already, you know, we talk natural gas got to 9. Right now, it's almost at 8. It's insane what things are going to cost. But listen, it's summertime, so summertime. This is always when gas prices are the most expensive, and again. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. The shippers were out warning this morning about stagflation and saying that the cost to ship products is going to remain extremely expensive. And, of course, they're saying all the port problems in China and all the backups. Why do I get a feeling this whole nightmare is going to roll out in front of us over the next 10 to 12 weeks? And we're going to look back at this ridiculous period. I know stocks have sold off, gold and silver have sold off, but the Fed trying to act like everything's going to be just A-okay. The biggest part of the storm isn't even here yet. 9510592. We're down to a roll of 10th ounce. We got 50 10th ounce These were just leftover. The wholesalers finally, shipped everybody, did all that stuff, and they had this leftover. This isn't new stock. This was left over. When they're gone, they're gone. But here's the great thing. This is people like in the metals plans got these at $240. So this is a great bargain at $240 a roll. Right now, silver below $21, $20.90. Gold's at $18.35. The Dow is down 200 more points at 31,006. The S&P's down another 13. I mean, pretty much the only thing not down right now is crude oil. And again, Saudi Arabia's oil minister just said, listen, and this is what I thought all along, right? And Brent, which is what Saudi has, they're selling their stuff at premiums. They're charging $5 over the Brent price, and Brent's like 110, so Saudi's at 115. Jason, they were probably pumping all that they could already.
Yeah, Joe. Well, and you know me, I think there's a lot of false scarcity. I think there's plenty of ways to get plenty of oil for everybody.
We should have all of this stuff.
So somebody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, Joe. That's why we're having what we got going on. And, of course, the monetary system is going to be reset. Crazy stuff will continue to happen, and I don't think we'll ever stop until they've reset it, Joe. The last economic reset was World War II. And look how many people died for that economic reset. Now, I don't know if they're going to be killing people, Joe, but it's going to be bad this time, just like World War II was bad.
Man, I can't – every day, I just can't believe what I'm reading. Nancy Pelosi unveiling the Democrats' latest plan to slow the surge in gas prices. Here's the thing. I think Nancy knows. I think somebody's told her, hey, by the way, gas is going to get a lot more expensive. They've got a new term, a new solution. Yup, price controls, Jason. That's the answer, and it's big oil's fault, and they're to blame, and you know what? I think we should just say, you know what, this is all you can charge for a gallon of gas. You know what, it'll be real simple. There'll be, with this idiotic plan, there will essentially be no gas for anybody to buy. Nobody's going to produce something that they can't make any money on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Price shortages make things way worse, and like you said, Joe, setting the price, all that's going to do is make things go away completely because everyone will hoard it.
They're calling it the Consumer Fuel Price Gouging Prevention Act.
Oh.
Right? Listen to this. They want the president to use his power to issue an emergency energy declaration that would make it unlawful to increase gasoline and home energy fuel prices. Yeah, that will fix the problem.
Man.
Where is the drill plan? If we would, to Jason's point, when Jason talks about false scarcity, right, he's not saying, hey, there's tons of inventory, there's tons of gasoline, there's tons of diesel, there's tons of, it's just sitting in storage, and we really got plenty. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is there's plenty of it for us to go get. But the realities are they decided, and listen, this plan has been rolling out for years. Remember, Donald Trump tried to stop it, right, with his drill, baby, drill, right? And he was trying to get them Keystone Pipeline and all this other stuff. That's not the program. And essentially now this was really simply, we just took a gun and shot ourselves in the foot on purpose. We created this problem with this whole ESG and everybody. Yes, we'll just put solar panels and wind farms up, and somehow magically everything's going to be okay.
And maybe that's why the whole world hated Trump for 4 years, Joe, is he was trying. Maybe he didn't really understand what he was doing. That's one of the defenses that people, when we have a Trump debate. Well, he just didn't know what he was doing. It's like, well, I want a guy there that knows what he's doing. But if he was trying to be economically responsible and fix things, Joe, and he's a businessman, it's like, well, if we have more of this, it costs less. And maybe that's why they rigged the election and got rid of it. It's like, no, you don't understand. We have to reset the whole thing, and we can't have you around messing that up. And that might be a whole lot of what happened with that guy with that last election, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, Joey, you're watching all of this play out as well. I mean, where do you think energy is headed?
I think eventually, energy will go to more cleaner, but I think we're always going to have fossil fuels and oil and gas for a while. You look at Elon Musk and things that he's doing in the EV sector. I just don't see us being able to get away from oil and gas within 20 years. I think it's going to be more of a 50-year long thing. So I think gas and oil is going to be here to stay for a while, which is why it's so devastating when it's $7, $5 for a gallon here. So, I mean, I'm a big supporter of going to EV and getting to green energy, but I just don't see it being economically possible within the next 20 years.
Well, and the problem is, and this is really the problem, right? We were heading that way already, right? And the thing is they wanted to rush it. Of course, remember, right? The whole planet's going to die, right? In the 70s, the ozone layer was going to kill us all, and global warming is going to kill us all. We put the cart way before the horse. The world wasn't ready for any of this stuff. I mean, we just started shutting down coal plants and nuclear plants, and without any realization of what it was going to cost to replace all of these things. And to Jason's point, they created a false scarcity, which is going to drive us into the next Great Depression.
Totally agree with that, Joe. I mean, we may see in the near future a green energy west and an oil energy system in the east, and kind of what it's kind of stacking up to be right now. At $150 trillion, Joe. They want to spend $6 trillion a year on their green energy here in this country and in Europe. How are we going to stop that? If they want it, they're going to get it, right?
800-951-0592. Man, starting to get ugly. The Dow's down 300 and gaining at the lows of the day here. As again, the carnage continuing. I think really there's no great, and this has been the problem from day one. There's no good answer here, right? The Fed, it makes me upset that they don't tell us the truth, but the realities are, what do you want them to say? Hey, sorry, if we actually fight inflation, it's going to be worse than if we just let it run wild, right? And I don't know which one's worse, Jason. I don't. But the fact of the matter is, going to 2%, which somehow, I don't know, they feel like that's going to fix something. That's not even going to. That's like a drop in the bucket.
Joe, they're not getting to 2%, it looks like. I mean, the way the market's reacting to 2 rate hikes that are 0.75, right? It's nasty, And
we're not even at 1%, and the market is hemorrhaging here. It is kind of scary, but that's why I said that's why we've got Joey here. He's got all kinds of different options for you. You can do what I'm doing, which is say I could care less. I sleep real good at night. Or you can do any of the other, their signature program, rolling over 401ks or IRAs. Something where, if you're dealing with Joey at that brokerage level, he's looking at it every single day. If you're in that signature program, they balance that portfolio, rebalance that portfolio every quarter. They've got all kinds. There's so many things, like Joey said, there's too many to even talk about. Joey, people want to get a hold of you. How do they do it?
Yeah, just reach me at my personal cell. My number is 602-909-9048. Again, that's 602-909-9048. If I don't answer right away, just leave me a voicemail, and I'll get back to you as soon as we can.
10th ounce, if we still got them, are out there. $20 golds down to $21.65. Silver Eagles, this is the cheapest I've seen them yet. Everywhere, I went everywhere around the website on the big internet guys. Right now, Silver Eagles are $720 a roll. If you buy 15 rolls or more, I'll take them down to $715 at 800-951-0592. 0592. So now I think I'm the cheapest in the country on Silver Eagles. I'm the cheapest in the country on half dollars. I mean, the 10th ounce, they're the cheapest because nobody has any. So there you go. 800-951-0592. Jason, I don't even know if you saw this. Did you see that for over a decade, almost 2 decades, probably longer, all the kickbacks that Fauci and all of his cronies were getting from the pharmaceutical companies?
I just thought that was just a matter of fact for everybody in the government. They got something coming in there. They just don't normally. That information just usually isn't privy to us. But that's not surprising, Joe. I didn't see that, but that's not surprising at all.
Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back tomorrow for one more show.